The church bells tolled across the sleepy town of Evergreen, Illinois, as Father Michael Harrington's casket was lowered into the ground, praised by the congregation as a saint who had saved countless souls. But in the back row, hidden among the mourners, his adopted son, Alex, clenched his fists, knowing the man they idolized had been a monster behind closed doors since Alex was just 13. As the eulogies poured in, extolling Michael's charity work and unwavering faith, Alex's mind flashed back to that fateful night when the truth shattered his world forever. Alex had been orphaned at 8, shuffled through foster homes until Michael, the charismatic priest of St. Mary's Parish, adopted him. The community saw it as an act of divine mercy, a holy man taking in a troubled boy. But from the start, life in the rectory was a facade of piety masking something darker. Michael preached love and forgiveness from the pulpit, but at home, he enforced rigid rules with a cold precision that left Alex feeling like a prisoner in his own skin. God made you in his image, Michael would say, but his eyes always lingered too long. His words laced with an undercurrent of judgment that made Alex question everything about himself. By 13, Alex was beginning to understand his feelings. Crushes on boys at school that he buried deep, terrified of what Michael might say. One evening, after a youth group meeting, Alex stayed late to help clean the church hall. Michael called him into his study, the room dim with the glow of a single lamp. "Son, I've noticed you've been distant," Michael said, his voice smooth as sacrament wine. Alex hesitated, then confessed his confusion about liking a classmate named Jamie. Michael's face twisted, not in anger, but in something Alex couldn't name. "That's the devil testing you," he whispered, pulling Alex into a hug that felt wrong, too tight, too invasive. That night, as Alex lay in bed, he heard Michael's footsteps in the hall, and the door creaked open. What followed wasn't violence in the physical sense, but a betrayal of trust that scarred deeper than any bruise. Whispered confessions from Michael himself, admissions of his own struggles with the same desires, followed by demands for secrecy and shared prayers that blurred boundaries Alex didn't even know existed. The next morning, Michael acted as if nothing had happened, preaching a sermon on purity that drew applause from the pews. Alex, however, was forever changed. He withdrew into himself, excelling in school to escape the rectory, but the weight of the secret gnawed at him. The town revered Michael for his anti-poverty programs, his counseling of troubled families, but Alex saw the hypocrisy. How Michael used his position to manipulate those in need, offering help only if they conformed to his vision of righteousness. When Alex turned 16, he met Ryan at a high school debate club. Ryan was outgoing, with a laugh that lit up rooms, and for the first time Alex felt seen, not as the priest's son, but as himself. Their friendship blossomed into something more, stolen moments in the park, where they held hands under the cover of dusk. But Michael noticed the change in Alex, the way he smiled more, and one night he confronted him. "You're treading dangerous ground, boy. Remember what I taught you." Alex's heart raced. He wanted to scream the truth, but fear silenced him. Instead, he nodded, burying his feelings deeper. As high school ended, Alex won a scholarship to college in Chicago, a chance to break free. Michael beamed at the graduation ceremony, posing for photos as the proud father. But in private, he warned Alex, "Don't forget where you came from. The church is your family." Ryan, heading to the same city for art school, became Alex's anchor. Their relationship grew in the anonymity of urban life. Walks along Lake Michigan, late-night talks about dreams and fears. Yet the shadow of Michael loomed. News clippings arrived in the mail. Michael's awards for community service, his rising status in the diocese. Alex confided in Ryan about the night at 13, the confusing mix of confession and control, but even saying it aloud felt like betrayal. "He adopted me when no one else would," Alex said, torn between gratitude and resentment. Ryan held him, urging therapy, but Alex resisted, afraid of unraveling the only family he'd known. Back in Evergreen, Michael's influence expanded. He spearheaded a campaign against same-sex marriage, rallying the town with fiery speeches about traditional values. The irony burned Alex, knowing Michael's hidden struggles. yet watching him condemn others like him. When Proposition 8 debates raged in California, Michael's op-eds made national news, painting him as a moral guardian. Alex, now 21, attended a Pride event in Chicago with Ryan, feeling liberated yet guilty. A call from Michael interrupted the joy. "I saw the photos online. Is this who you've become?" Alex's stomach dropped. Social media had betrayed him, a tagged picture from the parade. The argument that followed was brutal, Michael's voice cracking with what sounded like jealousy mixed with disdain. "You're throwing away everything I've given you." Alex hung up, but the words echoed, fueling doubts about his own worth. Ryan proposed they move in together, a step toward commitment that thrilled and terrified Alex. As they unpacked boxes in their small apartment, Alex received word that Michael had been nominated for a sainthood-like honor by the local bishop, a Living Saint award for his decades of service. The ceremony was set for the following month. Alex debated attending, but Ryan encouraged it. "Confront him, for your sake." On the drive back to Evergreen, Alex's mind raced with scenarios, exposing the truth or finally forgiving. The town square buzzed with anticipation, banners proclaiming Michael's virtues. As Alex took his seat, he spotted familiar faces. Parishioners who'd once pitted him as the orphan boy, now admiring him as the successful son. Michael's speech was masterful, weaving tales of redemption that brought tears to eyes. But when their gazes met, Alex saw the flicker of unease, the shared secret hanging between them like incense smoke. After the event, in the rectory, father and son faced off. "I'm proud of you," Michael said, but his tone was laced with control. Alex, emboldened by Ryan's love, finally spoke. "Proud? After what you did?" Michael's face paled. "That was a moment of weakness. I've atoned." But Alex pressed. "Atoned by condemning people like us? Like me?" The confession spilled out. Michael's own attractions, suppressed under vows, projected onto Alex as a twisted form of guidance. "I was trying to save you from my pain," Michael admitted, tears streaming. Alex felt a surge of pity mixed with rage. Was this redemption, or just another manipulation? He left without resolution, driving back to Chicago where Ryan waited, arms open. But the award amplified Michael's fame, and soon, whispers of his miracles spread, helping addicts recover, mediating family disputes. Alex watched from afar, his relationship with Ryan strengthening amid the turmoil. They attended couples counseling, where Alex unpacked the trauma, learning to separate his identity from Michael's shadow. Yet society's adoration of Michael fueled Alex's internal conflict. Friends in Chicago praised the priest's work without knowing the personal cost. When Michael visited unexpectedly, bearing gifts and olive branches, Alex let him in, hoping for change. Over dinner with Ryan, tensions simmered. Michael eyed Ryan warily, making veiled comments about lifestyles. Ryan challenged him. "Love isn't a lifestyle. It's who we are." Michael retreated into scripture, but Alex saw cracks in his armor, a man haunted by his own denials. As Michael left, he hugged Alex, whispering, "Forgive me, son." For the first time, Alex wondered if forgiveness was possible, or if it would mean endorsing the hypocrisy. Months passed, and Michael's living saint status brought media attention. A local news special profiled him, interviewing townsfolk who credited him with turning their lives around. Alex watched the broadcast alone, Ryan at work, his chest tightening as the narrator lauded Michael's adoption of a wayward boy as his crowning act of kindness. The screen showed old photos, Michael beaming with young Alex at his side, the perfect father-son duo. But Alex remembered the isolation, the nights of enforced prayer to cure his budding feelings. He slammed the laptop shut, pacing the apartment. How could he stay silent while the world elevated a man who'd warped his childhood? Ryan returned to find Alex in turmoil. "We should go public," Ryan suggested, his voice steady. "Expose the truth." But Alex hesitated. Michael wasn't a predator in the sensational sense. The media loved those stories. But his emotional manipulation, the way he'd used faith as a weapon against Alex's identity, was subtler, harder to prove. And deep down, Alex still loved the man who'd given him a home, flawed as it was. What if it destroys him? Or me? Alex asked. Ryan pulled him close, their foreheads touching in the quiet room. You're stronger than you think, and you deserve peace. Their bond, forged in shared vulnerability, became Alex's lifeline. They spent evenings discussing futures, marriage, perhaps adoption someday, dreams that felt defiant against Michael's teachings. Back in Evergreen, Michael's campaign against LGBTQ+ rights intensified. He organized rallies, partnering with conservative groups, his speeches decrying moral decay. One event made headlines when protesters clashed, signs waving, "Love wins" versus "family values." Alex followed online, his anger boiling. A particularly inflammatory quote from Michael, "We must protect our children from confusion," hit too close. Alex was that child, confused by a father's mixed signals. Impulsively, he commented anonymously on a forum, "The saint has secrets." It went viral in niche circles, sparking debates about hypocrisy in the church. Michael called days later, voice strained, "Was that you?" Alex denied it, but the seed was planted. Paranoia crept into Michael's life. He confided in close aides about past temptations, seeking absolution. Alex's career as a social worker in Chicago flourished, helping at-risk youth much like his younger self. One client, a gay teen named Lucas, reminded him of his own struggles, rejected by religious parents. As Alex counseled Lucas, echoes of Michael's words resurfaced, forcing him to confront how deeply they'd ingrained self-doubt. Ryan, sensing the strain, planned a weekend getaway to Michigan's dunes, where they hiked trails and watched sunsets. "I love you for who you are," Ryan said, proposing on a bluff overlooking the lake. Alex said yes, tears of joy mixing with relief. The ring, simple silver, symbolized freedom. But news of their engagement reached Evergreen via mutual friends, and Michael's response was swift. A letter disowning Alex, couched in biblical quotes. "I pray for your soul," it ended. Devastated, Alex spiraled. He skipped work, replayed childhood memories, questioning if he'd exaggerated the past. Ryan urged therapy again, and this time Alex agreed. Sessions unearthed layers. Michael's adoption motivated partly by guilt over his own repressed sexuality, using Alex as a proxy for redemption. The therapist suggested writing a letter back, not to send, but to process. Alex poured out years of hurt. The night at 13 when boundaries blurred, the constant surveillance disguised as care, the public persona that erased private pain. Burning the letter in their fireplace brought catharsis, but not closure. Society's divides mirrored Alex's internal war. As midterm elections loomed, Michael's endorsement of anti-gay candidates drew national scrutiny. Progressive groups dug into his background, uncovering minor inconsistencies, donations to conversion therapy programs. Rumors swirled, and Alex received anonymous messages. "Tell your story." Fear gripped him. Exposing Michael could heal, but at what cost? Ryan stood by, but tensions arose when Alex wavered. "He's not your father anymore," Ryan argued during a heated dinner. "He chose hate over you." Alex snapped back. "It's not that simple. He raised me." Their first major fight ended in silence, but reconciliation came in bed. Apologies whispered in the dark. Love, Alex realized, required navigating gray areas. Michael's health declined amid the stress. A mild heart attack sidelined him from the pulpit. The town rallied, prayer vigils filling the church. Alex visited unannounced, finding Michael frail in bed, surrounded by get-well cards. "Why are you here?" Michael asked weakly. Alex sat, voice steady. "Because despite everything, you're family." They talked for hours. Michael admitting his fears, how seminary crushed his spirit, leading to a life of denial. "I thought saving you would save me," he confessed. Alex shared his happiness with Ryan, the engagement. Michael's eyes softened. "I'm glad you found love." It wasn't apology, but acknowledgement. As Alex left, hope flickered. Perhaps change was possible. But the world intervened. A journalist, tipped off by online buzz, contacted Alex for an interview. Is the saint all he seems? The email read. Alex agonized, consulting Ryan and his therapist. Exposing the truth could spark dialogue on church hypocrisy, but it risked destroying Michael's legacy and Alex's privacy. In the end, he declined, choosing personal peace over public spectacle. Michael recovered, resuming duties with tempered rhetoric, perhaps influenced by their talk. Alex and Ryan planned their wedding, small and intimate, inviting select friends. Michael's absence stung, but Alex focused on the future. Yet doubts lingered. When Michael announced a new initiative, counseling for LGBTQ+ youth with compassionate guidance, opinions split. Supporters hailed it as evolution. Critics saw lip service. Alex attended a session incognito, hearing Michael speak of understanding struggles without endorsing acceptance. Felt like progress, but incomplete. Back home, Ryan asked, "Do you think he's changed?" Alex pondered, their hands intertwined. The answer eluded him, a testament to the complexity of forgiveness in a divided society. The wedding day arrived under Chicago's spring skies, cherry blossoms drifting like confetti. Alex and Ryan exchanged vows in a garden ceremony, surrounded by friends who'd become family. As they kissed, applause erupted, a moment of pure joy amid lingering shadows. But even then, Michael's ghost hovered. A voicemail left that morning. "I wish you well, son." No attendance, but no condemnation. Alex saved it, unsure if it signaled thaw or finality. Honeymoon in New York followed, where they explored museums and streets hand in hand, building memories untainted by the past. Returning home, Alex dove deeper into advocacy, volunteering at a LGBTQ+ center. His story, shared anonymously in support groups, inspired others. One evening, a young man approached. "Your father's program helped me, but it felt off." Alex froze. The Compassionate Guidance Initiative had expanded, now partnering with national organizations. Research revealed mixed reviews. Some praised inclusivity, others accused it of subtle conversion tactics. Michael's interviews emphasized "love the sinner, hate the sin," a phrase that twisted Alex's gut. He confronted Michael over the phone. "Is this real change, or just rebranding?" Michael sighed. "I'm trying, Alex. The church is slow to evolve." Their conversations grew frequent, tentative bridges over chasms of hurt. Ryan's art career took off, a gallery show featuring pieces inspired by their journey. Abstract canvases of light-piercing darkness. At the opening, Alex beamed with pride, but a surprise guest shattered the evening. Michael, uninvited, standing awkwardly by the door. "I came to support," he said. Ryan tensed, but Alex nodded, introducing him politely. Whispers spread among guests. Michael's presence sparked debates. One attendee challenged him. "How do you reconcile your past views?" Michael faltered. "I've learned from my son." It was a small admission, but public. As the night ended, father and son shared a quiet corner. "Your husband's talented," Michael said. Alex smiled faintly. "He is. No hugs, but progress." Society's fault lines deepened with Supreme Court rulings on equality, polarizing communities. Evergreen split. Progressives boycotted Michael's events. Conservatives doubled down. A scandal erupted when a former parishioner accused Michael of covering up abuse in the diocese. Not his own, but inaction on reports. Investigations cleared him technically, but mud stuck. Alex watched coverage, empathy warring with vindication. "He knew about others," Alex confided to Ryan. Memories surfaced. Overheard conversations at 13, Michael dismissing complaints as tests of faith. The revelation fueled Alex's resolve. He submitted an op-ed anonymously, critiquing systemic hypocrisy without naming names. The piece went viral, quoted in debates. Michael recognized the voice, calling in fury, "You're destroying me." Alex held firm. "No, the truth is." Their rift widened, but oddly, it brought clarity. Alex focused on his marriage, adopting a rescue dog as practice for future parenthood. Ryan suggested therapy together, strengthening their bond amid external chaos. Intimate moments, cooking dinners, weekend hikes, reminded Alex of love's simplicity. Michael's initiative faced backlash. Funding dried up after exposes on similar programs. He retired quietly, the living saint title tarnished. In his farewell sermon, he spoke vaguely of personal failings, eyes on the empty seat where Alex might have sat. Post-retirement, Michael wrote letters, apologies, reflections on his youth in a repressive era. Alex read them, responses measured. One letter confessed fully. The night at 13 was a lapse, born of loneliness, regretted eternally. I projected my shame onto you, Michael wrote. Alex wept, sharing with Ryan. Forgiveness beckoned, but trust remained fractured. Years blurred. Alex turned 30, Ryan by his side. They considered surrogacy, dreaming of fatherhood. Michael's health waned again, this time seriously, cancer aggressive. Alex visited the hospital in Evergreen. The town changed yet familiar. Bedside, Michael looked small. I'm sorry, son, for everything. Alex took his hand. I know. They talked of regrets. Michael's unlived life, Alex's thriving one. Be the father I couldn't, Michael urged. Alex nodded, tears falling. Ryan joined later, offering quiet support. Michael's passing was peaceful, the funeral a subdued affair. Obituaries praised his service, glossing over controversies. Alex delivered a eulogy. He was human, flawed, but he tried. Whispers followed. Did he know secrets? In the aftermath, Alex inherited the rectory, donating it to a LGBTQ+ shelter. The act sparked outrage from conservatives, praise from allies. Debates raged online. Was Michael's legacy redeemable? Alex, now a father figure to many through his work, pondered privately. Ryan held him through nights of doubt. Their life together, mundane joys, shared challenges, affirmed Alex's choices. But the past's echoes persisted, fueling his advocacy. A biography on Michael emerged, sanitized but hinting at complexities. Alex declined interviews focusing on family. When their surrogate delivered twins, joy overflowed. Naming them after hopes, Elias for light, Jordan for flow, Alex vowed to parent with openness. Ryan's art evolved, incorporating family themes. Michael's shadow faded, but lessons endured. The cost of silence, the power of truth. Yet, in quiet moments, Alex wondered about alternate paths. If he'd exposed everything earlier, would change have come sooner? Society grappled with similar stories. Church scandals, evolving norms. Alex's journey mirrored broader shifts, from rejection to tentative acceptance. The twins' cries filled the apartment, a symphony of new life that grounded Alex amid swirling emotions. Elias and Jordan, with their tiny fists and curious eyes, represented everything Michael had denied himself and tried to deny Alex. Ryan cooed over them, exhaustion etched with bliss. We're dads, he whispered, kissing Alex's temple. Friends visited, offering congratulations laced with questions about Michael's influence. How do you feel now? One asked. Alex smiled faintly. Complicated. The truth was, fatherhood unearthed buried resentments. Changing diapers, he recalled Michael's rigid routines, vowing never to repeat them. Evergreen's community evolved post-Michael. The parish hired a progressive priest, implementing inclusive policies. Alex attended a memorial service a year later, twins in tow. Whispers greeted him, some warm, others wary. An old parishioner approached. Your father was a good man. Alex nodded politely, but inside, debates raged. Good? To whom? The service honored Michael's charities, but glossed over harms. Alex spoke briefly. Let's remember the full story. It stirred murmurs, igniting local forums with arguments on legacy. Ryan's gallery show themed around fatherhood drew crowds, pieces evoking generational trauma and healing. One painting, abstract swirls of shadow yielding to color, symbolized Alex's path. Critics praised its depth. Attendees speculated on inspirations. Michael's name surfaced in reviews, linking art to real-life drama. Alex embraced the exposure, using it to advocate. He started a podcast, sharing stories of LGBTQ plus individuals from religious backgrounds. Episodes dissected conflicts, guests debating Michael's type, repressed figures wielding power. Listeners flooded in, some defending tradition, others demanding accountability. A controversy erupted when a former aide published a tell-all, alleging Michael's cover-ups extended to financial mismanagement, diverting funds from aid programs to personal causes. Investigations confirmed minor irregularities, tarnishing his saintly image further. Alex was subpoenaed as a character witness, forcing him to testify. In court, under oath, he revealed fragments. Emotional manipulation, hypocritical stances. The media frenzy followed. Headlines like, "Son's testimony shatters Saint's halo." Protests outside the courthouse pitted supporters against critics. Ryan shielded the family, but stress mounted. Was it worth it? Ryan asked one night, twins asleep. Alex sighed. For the truth, yes. The trial's verdict, fines for the church, no criminal charges, left mixed feelings. Michael's defenders decried a witch hunt. Progressives hailed transparency. Alex's podcast episode on the experience went viral, sparking national dialogue on faith and identity. Invitations poured in, TED Talks, panels. He accepted selectively, balancing family. Ryan's support never wavered, their marriage a beacon through storms. As the twins grew, toddler chaos brought laughter. Elias's first word, "Dada," melted Alex. Jordan's curiosity mirrored Ryan's. They enrolled them in diverse playgroups, fostering openness. But societal backlash lingered. Hate mail arrived after Alex's appearances, echoing Michael's old rhetoric. "Protect your children," one read. Alex burned it, but doubts crept. Was he exposing his family to danger? Ryan reassured. "We're building a better world for them." A reunion with evergreen friends revealed shifts. Some apologized for blind faith in Michael. Others clung to memories. One confided, "He helped my family, but I see the flaws now." Alex nodded, empathy growing. Forgiveness, he realized, wasn't erasure but coexistence with truth. He visited Michael's grave, twins playing nearby. "I hope you're at peace," he murmured. Years advanced. The twins started school, Alex's advocacy a full-time role. He authored a book, Shadows of Sainthood, blending memoir with analysis. Reviews polarized, praised for honesty, criticized for bitterness. Book tours brought encounters. Readers sharing similar tales, fueling connection. Ryan illustrated the cover, their collaboration symbolizing unity. A pivotal moment came at a conference, debating church reform. A panelist, a bishop, echoed Michael's evolution attempts. Alex challenged, "Words without action are hollow." Applause followed, but backstage, the bishop pulled him aside. "Your father's work inspired me to push for change." Irony struck. Michael's legacy, flawed, sparked progress. Home life balanced the public, family vacations, bedtime stories. The twins asked about Grandpa Michael, prompting honest talks. "He loved in his way, but made mistakes," Alex explained. They nodded, innocence shielding complexity. Yet, as acceptance grew nationally, more inclusive laws, shifting attitudes, personal wounds healed slowly. Alex and Ryan celebrated anniversaries with quiet dinners, reflecting on journeys. "We made it," Ryan said, toasting. Alex smiled. "Because of us." The book's success led to a documentary offer. Alex agreed, controlling the narrative. Filming revisited evergreen, stirring ghosts. Interviews with locals revealed nuanced views. Michael's good deeds coexisted with harms. The film premiered to acclaim, igniting forums with questions on redemption. In its wake, Alex pondered the core conflict. Could a man be both saint and sinner? Society grappled, mirroring his soul. The documentary aired nationwide, its raw portrayal of Alex's story drawing millions. Viewers flooded social media with opinions. Empathy for Alex, defense of Michael, calls for church accountability. Hashtags trended. Shadows of Sainthood, faith and hypocrisy. Alex monitored from home, twins oblivious in their playroom. Ryan hugged him. You did good, but the exposure invited trolls. Threats arrived, forcing security measures. Is this what we wanted? Alex wondered aloud. Ryan nodded. Change isn't easy. Evergreen reacted viscerally. A town hall debated renaming a park after Michael. Alex attended virtually, advocating balance. Honor the positive, acknowledge the pain. Votes split. The name stayed with a plaque noting complexities. Felt like victory, small but significant. As the twins turned 5, curiosity about family deepened. Why no grandpa? Elias asked. Alex shared age-appropriate truths. He was a priest who helped people but hurt feelings sometimes. Jordan frowned. Like a bully? Alex paused. More like someone confused. Conversations evolved, teaching empathy amid honesty. Alex's book tour extended internationally, sharing stages with activists. In London, a fan confessed, "Your story saved me from silence." Moments like these affirmed purpose. Ryan joined for parts their bond showcased. Media dubbed them resilience icons. But privately, they laughed at the label, preferring simple life. A twist came when Michael's old journal surfaced, donated anonymously to the church archive. Entries revealed inner turmoil, admissions of attraction, guilt over Alex, regrets on stances. Scholars analyzed, proof of repression's toll. Alex read excerpts, heart aching. He was trapped, he told Ryan. The journals humanized Michael, shifting narratives from villain to victim of system. Public discourse intensified. Op-eds debated. Did personal struggles excuse public harm? Alex's podcast hosted experts, views clashing. Listeners voted in polls, results divided. He ended episodes with questions. Can we forgive without forgetting? Family milestones anchored him. Twins' first school play, Ryan's major exhibition. At the opening, a surprise. The bishop from the conference, praising the art. Your father's spirit lives in reconciliation, he said. Alex pondered. Was it Michael's spirit, or his own forging ahead? Years later, as teens, Elias and Jordan learned fuller details through school projects on LGBTQ plus history. Grandpa was against people like you? Jordan asked. Alex nodded. But he changed a bit at the end. Discussions deepened family ties, the twins advocating in their circles. Alex, now in his 40s, reflected on the arc, from silenced boy to vocal father. Ryan's graying hair matched his. Love endured. They renewed vows on their 20th anniversary, twins as witnesses. Michael's legacy evolved. A foundation in his name funded inclusive counseling. Alex on the board. Irony abounded, but it healed. In quiet evenings, Alex wrote a sequel book, exploring redemption's nuances. Society had progressed, marriage equality firm, churches diversifying, but battles persisted. His story contributed, a ripple in the wave. As the narrative closed, Alex posed to readers. Was Michael's path to partial change enough to redeem him, or did his earlier harms define him forever?